Aging is one of the scariest things that could possibly happen to you. And everyone wants to live forever. Nobody wants to die. And it is very hard dealing with getting wrinkly, getting old, losing muscle, losing your looks. And it sucks. It sucks. But, however, while you can't live forever, there are ways to not only slow your aging, but reverse your aging. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how my client Randy, who is 74 years old, reversed his age to 55 years old. A 19-year difference according to his smart scale. And if you don't believe me, you can watch this video right here.
I'm one of Dom's newer clients. My name is Randy. In a month and a half, I'll be 74 years old. I was very intrigued seeing a couple of Dom's videos and decided to reach out to him. I did. We had a great conversation and I became a client. I've been with him now for 1 month. I'm down 10 pounds, have put on all kinds of muscle mass that I didn't have before. And probably one of the best things was I just had blood levels, blood work checked. I'd had it done 5 months ago and it was good. I had it done 2 days ago and it was even better, much improved. I had a lot of concerns about the diet, especially at my age, but it was right on the money and it has worked to a T so far. The thing I love is working with Dom. He's very concerned, he's into it, he checks on you, he makes sure that everything's working with you. And again, for somebody my age, very set in my ways, but he's convinced me that he is right on the money and I hope to be with him for a while. So if you're thinking about it, I would certainly do it because he can change your life.
So now that you've heard about Randy's experience on this program, if you want to see the same results, if you want to feel better, look better, get jacked, get lean, live long, reverse your aging, feel free to book a call with me for my one-on-one coaching in the link in the description of this video. But onto this video, I am going to be breaking down the exact strategies and exact techniques that we used to get Randy to go from 74 to 55. So grab your notebook, grab your pen, pay attention, put away the phone, turn off the notifications, and actually take notes so you can actually apply this shit and see the same results that Randy has seen. So let's get into it. Boom. All right, guys. So here's Randy before the program. Really overweight, 10 pounds heavier with significantly less muscle mass. And after, we had him add a shit ton of muscle and we had him lose a shit ton of fat. And before the program, he had joint pain. His sleep was fucked up. He was taking naps. He had low energy. And this was mainly because of his lack of proper training and lack of nutrition and things that he was doing to destroy his hormones, his metabolism, and his testosterone. And once we got 3 months into the program, his metabolic age is now 55 years old when at an age of 74 years old. So we're looking at this, we can see he has low fat around his body, low fat in his legs, his arms are a little bit fatter, and his muscle mass in his right arm, his muscle mass everywhere is high. Look at his muscle mass, he's high, percentage. His metabolism has been going up over the months. His muscle mass has been going up a lot over the months. We can track this. His fat mass is going down over the months, and his lean mass is going up. Look at this, guys. Body fat percentage going down to 12%. He has a lot of saggy skin because he used to be like 270, 280, but now he's 180, I think, 170. At 74 years old, which is pretty fucking good at 5'7". He has a lot of muscle. He's getting strong. Fat's low, muscle's high, and that's exactly what we wanted. And you may be asking, oh, how do they even track? How is he 55 years old? Well, this is what that scale tracks. Your body fat percentage, muscle mass, BMR, visceral fat. It basically takes all these things into account and calculates it for someone who's average. So like if you're 25, if you're 40, but you have all the statistics of a 25-year-old, it would say you'd be 25. So like, body fat, muscle mass, metabolism, all of these things. So basically, because his stats are so good at the age of 74, he's like the average 55-year-old. He's basically 19 years younger because of what we had him do on the program. So we obviously had him eating foods like this. I'm not going to dive into the dieting too much on this because I talk about it in every video. So if you want to learn about proper dieting, go check out the other videos. But basically, we had him do the opposite of what doctors will tell you to do. Lots of red meat, lots of raw milk, lots of eggs, whole foods only, guys. You can see there's no multiple ingredient foods. I mean, these have multiple ingredients, but the ingredients are all clean. It's just like spices and stuff. But he's drinking raw milk, eating raw eggs, eating steaks at restaurants. The only thing was that his cholesterol was high on the program, but the average range used to be up to 350. His was like 250 or 280 or something. But, the doctors, he's been kind of, a little bit, concerned because of his high cholesterol. But besides that, I mean, his muscles gone up, his energy's up, he's feeling better. As you can see in the testimonials that he gave me, the only thing that's a little bit sketchy is his cholesterol. But, cholesterol numbers don't really matter because the range used to be 200 to 350. Now it's 100 to 200. His was 280. So if it was 50 years ago, he would be within range. And the thing is, back when the range was higher, people were healthier, people were leaner, people were higher test, and they were in much better shape than they are now. So it's kind of interesting how now that the cholesterol range is lower, people are more fat. So if you kind of think logically, having a high cholesterol level at 280 is totally fine. Now, going into the reverse aging protocol. And I'm going to dive into some of the other things that a lot of you guys don't know and don't do, which is totally destroying your progress. So the first thing we had him do at the start was to cut out toxins. He was drinking a lot of plastic water. He was, using endocrine disruptor, cologne, soaps, deodorants. He wasn't doing weed, obviously, but he was drinking a lot. That was a big one that was keeping him inflamed, keeping him fat, and keeping him from losing weight. Even though he was biking a lot before the program, he was going on 20-mile bike rides, wasn't really going to the gym maybe once a week, but his diet was the main thing. He was drinking beers a lot. And people think, oh, I can have 1 or 2 beers. It's not that bad. Guys, drinking some alcohol will literally prevent your body from burning fat for up to 48 hours. 48 hours of basically not being able to get shredded. And he was drinking beers like 3 to 4 times a week, which was just keeping him fat. So that was a huge game changer because he had been drinking beer his whole life. And one thing where he was messing up, for his sleep was that he was looking at blue light before bed, watching TV, and he was chugging lots of water, which is making him get less REM sleep and also wake up in the middle of the night to pee, because when you chug water before bed, that will make you have to wake up to pee. So if you wake up to pee in the middle of the night, it's not good because it ruins your REM sleep. But to prevent that from happening, you need to slowly sip on water. And some things that he was not doing was, getting lots of vitamin D, eating animal-based, obviously, lots of walking, lots of ice baths, and lots of sun exposure. So for sunning, I kind of said that twice here, didn't even realize, but I think it's a crazy percentage. Like 70% of older people over the age of 60 are deficient in vitamin D. And sunning actually is the main reason that you would live longer. It prevents you from aging. People think it will age you going in the sun, but it's actually the opposite, because vitamin D is a prohormone that basically helps with a shit ton of human functions, like your immune system, like your testosterone. It helps with so many functions, and most people are deficient in vitamin D. So as you get older, you need your test to be high so you can have muscle mass to support your bones and to make sure you don't get arthritis. He was having joint pain because he was deficient in vitamin D. He had low energy because he was deficient in vitamin D, and it was causing a lot of problems. And also it kept his metabolism slow and his tests lower, which was making him hold on to fat. So we got him getting in the sun and getting more vitamin D. And the thing is, you may think, oh, he's going to get burned, he's going to get skin cancer. Guys, when you eat inflammatory foods, that is the main reason why people get sun damage. When you eat corn syrup, eat pesticides, drink inflammatory beers and seed oils, when you're extremely inflamed, that is when sun will cause skin cancer and make you even worse. But when you eat whole foods with no pesticides, no beer, no alcohol, no bullshit, you can absorb vitamin D, boost your test, and get tan and lose fat much more rapidly. Cholesterol is the building block of testosterone. Vitamin D, or cholesterol enhances vitamin D synthesis, or it's vice versa, I forget. But they basically go all hand in hand. The golden triangle of getting tan and shredded and high test is getting lots of sun, eating lots of cholesterol, and lots of exercise. So we had him eating animal-based, obviously whole foods only. Guys, if you're eating multiple foods with all these synthetic chemicals, you are going to get tons of health problems. Guys, once the Industrial Revolution came along and people started eating lots of processed food, they basically, everyone started getting fat and all these random ass health problems and diseases like diabetes. But before then, when people were eating whole foods, no one was fat, no one was out of shape. And people were just dying from sicknesses and, starvation, but they were not getting all these weird ass conditions, diabetes, all these weird ass things. No one was fat, and that's because everyone was eating whole foods. And also, back in medieval times when no one was fat, everyone was walking. So many people are like, "Oh, I can't lose weight." It's like, bro, you have to look at the animals. Animals literally walk around all day long. They're moving all day long and they eat whole foods. That is why they are shredded and jacked and have muscle like tigers and lions. They just eat fucking meat. They eat a few things here and there. And they are fucking jacked year round and they have energy year round because they're always walking and they're always eating animal based. If you're working in an office and you don't even do any steps, I don't go on any walks, you just walk from the car, in the parking lot, or you walk maybe to work lunch. If that's the only walking you're doing, you will be fat. I would say, we had him do 15K steps a day, but you can check on your Apple Health app, go to steps, and if you just carry your phone in your pocket when you walk, it'll track your steps. So you guys should be doing 15,000 steps a day, even 20,000 to shred it faster, but we got him doing 15,000 steps a day. Then we also had him taking cold showers, which also sped up his metabolism, got his body rolling and, got him into fight or flight mode, which is going to make him shred more fat. So on to reverse aging, the first step that we had him do was to remove endocrine disruptors like seed oils, like cologne, like polyester underwear. Guys, there was a study with polyester underwear where there were two groups of dogs. One group of dogs wore polyester underwear for like a year and the other one didn't wear any underwear. And 9 out of 10 dogs became infertile after wearing the polyester underwear. You wonder why men have low testosterone, the lowest sperm counts of all time. They're infertile. It's because they're wearing polyester underwear. Also, cologne, guys. A lot of you guys think colognes and deodorants are healthy. Oh, they smell good. Guys, what do you think they're made out of? Toxic chemicals that you absorb into your skin. Guys, anything you put on your skin will absorb into your bloodstream. There was a study done where there was a certain amount of chlorine in the water, like 500 whatever parts per million or something. And then this girl put her hand in the cup of water for 5 minutes, and then they tested the amount of chlorine again, and then went down to like 100. So like she basically absorbed all the chlorine into her skin. So if you're putting in toxic chemicals, hormone disruptors, fragrances, all these things in cologne, most of them are endocrine disruptors. So you don't want to be inhaling that and putting it on your skin. And Randy was also eating lots of seed oils. He was going out to restaurants, getting fast food, cheap meals, pizza, burgers, bread. He was consuming seed oils, which is making him inflamed and slowing down his metabolism. Also, plastic water bottles, plastic food containers, we cut those out, and that also helped him get in better shape. And for the animal-based diet, guys, no protein shakes, no processed food, whole foods only, fruit, raw milk, steak, eggs, beef, some other things in there, but we had it tailored for him to cut down, to add muscle, and lose fat at the same time around maintenance because I didn't want his hormones to crash. A lot of you guys make a mistake when you try to cut down. You starve yourself and your hormones crash and your metabolism slows down. Like imagine you're starving yourself and you're in the wild. You're in fight or flight mode. Oh, your body thinks, your body's saying, I don't know when I'm going to get my next meal. Like, oh, I could be in a week. So I'm going to hold on to as much fat as I can and just go into low power mode, not conserve energy or not use energy and just conserve it as much as possible. So if you are starving yourself, you go into low power mode and that's when you don't lose fat and you hold on to fat, but you feel like shit, you're low energy and you're lethargic. And that's what we don't want in 2025. If you have the means to eat as much food as necessary, the best formula for losing fat, adding muscle, and feeling good and having good hormones is to eat a lot of food, but to also exercise a lot to burn calories and burn off the fat. Because when you starve yourself, if you become deficient in vitamins and minerals, aka micronutrients, that's when the bodily functions go down, the energy goes down, the libido goes down, the immune system goes down, and that's when you get lots of other problems. And we didn't have him sunning balls, to be honest, guys, but I just wanted to say sunning. So we had him, do the fasting in the morning, which is something he didn't do. He was eating breakfast before, which was just spiking his insulin first thing in the morning, which was just making him basically in carb burning mode all morning instead of being in fat burning mode. When you fast till lunch, you've been fasting all night, and when your blood sugar's low from fasting, you burn fat while you're fasting. So when you guys, could be burning fat all morning during a fast, you just eat breakfast, spike your insulin up, your blood sugar goes up, and you don't burn any fat when your blood sugar's up. We had him, praying, doing lots more walking, blue light glasses, no ball sunning, but, getting vitamin D, and that made him feel better and definitely balanced his hormones, which allowed him to sleep better, perform better in the gym, have less joint pain, and just feel and look better overall, as you heard from his testimonial. Then going to his training, we basically broke it down into 3 main pillars: walking, lifting, and biking. I think 3 different forms of exercises is definitely good for sustainability and for enjoyment. For mine, it's probably walking, lifting, and basketball, or walking, lifting, and sprinting. But it's also good, besides lifting, a lot of you guys don't do any exercise, and that's where you fuck up with the shredding. The shredding and the athleticism, it lacks because you guys only lift and you don't do any walking. So when you walk at a zone 2 heart rate, that is when you use fat as your energy source. When your heart rate goes too high from either lifting, biking, or sprinting, you use carbs as your energy source. So if you're trying to add muscle and lose fat, you want to be doing lots of walking to shred off the fat and lots of lifting to add muscle. But it's good to add a third one for kind of enjoyment so you don't burn yourself out. If you don't love these two, you can also add in a third one, which is good for enjoyment. So I have clients who do golf and they walk the course, so they burn calories from the walking on the course, but they also, enjoy golf and they switch things up. Biking, it's good for your quads and leg strength, so you grow some muscle. It's not optimal, but it's good to rehab your knees and make sure your quads are strong. It does burn carbs, but it's a good form of exercise. And then for me, basketball, I can sprint, run, and jump, which is good for athleticism to stay functional, but that also burns carbs, so it's not as optimal as lifting. So had him lifting 4 to 5 days a week in the gym, bodybuilding / strength training to add muscle, get stronger, and lose fat. And then we had him biking to increase his, help his cardiovascular system, build up his knees, build up his quads, because a lot of old people have knee problems and back problems. And those are, 2 things we really need to avoid if we want him to live as long as possible. And going on to the animal-based longevity and anti-aging protocol that we had him on. So we kind of broke it down into optimizing 3 things: the kitchen, your home, and yourself. And these are, 3 areas where a lot of you guys mess up and you slacken specifically. So for the kitchen, we had him throw out all of his cooking oils. So a lot of you guys cook with olive oil and avocado oil, and you think that these things are healthy. They're not. If they're the perfect, most high quality versions from Italy or, from a really good trusted source, organic from one country, if you eat it at room temperature, it's okay. It's not really optimal, but it's okay. But when you cook these things, they become unstable, they become rancid, and they basically turn into seed oil. So you never want to cook with olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, or avocado oil. These brands like Siete chips or all these restaurants were like, oh, seed oil free, but we cook in olive oil. It's basically the same thing, and it's still inflammatory and bad. Then we had him throw out all of his rubber and plastic cooking utensils, because when you rub plastic and, rubber on a freaking hot pan, it obviously leaches into the food, and you don't want to be consuming that over time. This is how people get cancer, guys. These little things, oh yeah, I was slowly leaching rubber into my food every day for fucking 20 years. Then I got cancer because that built up in my system and it's toxic. And then we also had him cut out the dish soap, cut out the dishwasher detergent. And, guys, if you're washing your dishes with Blue One, Red 40 soap, with all these dyes and fragrances, you will be ingesting little bits of this over time. Also with dishwasher detergent, okay, it washes it off after, but there's definitely still little bits and pieces of it that didn't get out, and you slowly eat that over time, it can build up and be toxic and lower your test and fuck things up. And then also had him cut out all the plastic bullshit, guys. And when you're cutting shit on a plastic cutting board, it scratches the board a little bit and it gets into the food. There's little cut marks on your plastic cutting boards, and you basically ate all that plastic. It definitely got on the wet food or the soft food, and you consumed it. So you don't really want to have any sort of hot food touching plates, or you don't want any food to be cut on plastic cutting boards. And once his kitchen was optimized, we optimized his household. No toxic candles, guys. So many of you guys have these air fresheners and room sprays and essential oils and candles. Guys, these contain artificial fragrances, which are shown to lower your testosterone, disrupt your hormones, and cause cancer. Then we had him cut out the detergents, laundry detergent, dishwasher detergent, Windex, all these things that smell, these, lemon flavored wipes. It's like, bro, that shit is toxic. It's all chemically made. And if you inhale something, if you smell something, you inhale it. So you don't want to inhale any toxic bullshit. Then we had him throw out polyester bedding because, bro, you spend half of your life basically sleeping. So if you're just having polyester absorbed all under your skin, you're going to be contracting cancer, becoming infertile, and getting that toxic polyester all on your skin. And then kind of going back to the plastic and rubber cooking and cleaning stuff, we don't want any plastic, guys. Any hot food that touches thin sheet plastic, it's going to absorb into your body and you're going to eat it. And it does add up, guys. You wonder why all these people are like, oh, I don't know the cure to cancer. We can't solve cancer. Guys, it's things like this that add up that cause cancer, 1,000%. And then going on to himself or yourself, we got off the toxic deodorant. Guys, I would get the Yuka app, YUKA, scan all the barcodes of all of your cleaning products. It will tell you if there's bullshit fragrances, endocrine disruptors, or any heavy metals or anything. But lots of deodorants have aluminum and toxic shit, and you don't want that absorbing into your bloodstream. Had him cut out the cologne as well. Same kind of concept that I already went over. Throughout the body wash, guys, shampoos and soaps are extremely toxic, especially when you're putting hot water all over your body. Oh yeah, the hot water's opening up my pores and the shit's absorbing right in there. You don't even know what's in these washes, guys. Think of how animals in nature go about things. They just use water. That's it. That's all I use. I use water in my hair, water in my body. I sometimes use like a beef tallow soap, but we had him throw out the bullshit, and that significantly will help your hormones. Then we cut out bullshit shaving creams. Guys, if you're using a razor with shaving cream, there's endocrine disruptors in both. There's on the lubricating strip, there's like microplastics on the shaver and in the shaving cream. These also will contribute to cancer, so you really have to stay away from these things. Then once we detoxed him from all these toxic products, we had him stop snacking. A lot of you guys snack. Most Americans snack, and they don't understand that even if it's low calorie, even if it's organic or whatever, this or that, eating carbs all day long will keep you fat and make you diabetic or pre-diabetic. You know why? Because carbs spike your blood sugar the most. I say this in every fucking video, but when your blood sugar is high, you don't burn fat. And eating carbs will spike it the most out of protein, carbs, and fats. Fats are down here, protein here, carbs here. You guys eat these little bars, these little snacks, these little crackers, low calorie this. Guys, you're spiking your blood sugar and you are freaking keeping yourself in carb burning mode, and you are not burning any fat, which is making you a fat ass. So just eat 2 to 3 big meals a day with no snacks in between, and that's what we had him do, and he's getting fucking shredded. We also had him sleeping 8 hours a night. He was sleeping, 6 hours a night, getting up early to teach these classes, and it's like, you gotta get 8 hours of sleep a night, especially if you're training and walking around. If you guys just sit around like a docile piece of shit all day, you can get away with 6 hours of sleep, but are you growing muscle? No. Are you getting shredded? No. Are you actually becoming, athletic and high test? No. So if you are living the high test lifestyle of walking, biking, training, you need 8 hours of sleep. Also, getting sun, guys. I keep harping on this, but especially if you're an older guy, you will age so much faster if you don't get vitamin D. It's just sad with all these people wearing sunscreen, being scared of the sun. It's sad because, Big Pharma sets it up to where they have you eating the processed food, drinking the alcohol, which makes you inflamed. And when you do get the sun, when you have that diet and live that lifestyle, you basically get fucked. But when you're on the perfect diet and then you get sun, it's like the biggest health combo. And this really saved Randy, in my opinion, learning about the sun, learning about, the clean foods, and he is getting insane results. And if you don't believe me, if you still think this is bullshit, this is him riding a bike ride in the sun, in a fucking t-shirt, getting vitamin D in his arms and legs, and he's doing this shit at 74 years old, guys.
Hi, I'm Dom's old guy client. I'm wrapping up a bike ride this morning. I've been training with him for a month. My last 3 bike rides, 20 miles, 25 miles, 21 miles today. Haven't done that for a long, long time. And I've ridden over 17,000 miles in my life. His training is amazing. The physical part, the diet part. I've worked with a half dozen trainers in my life, and I've yet to find one as good as he is. If you're a skeptic, as I was, and believe me, I was, give him a shot. You've got absolutely nothing to lose and a whole lot to gain.
So guys, that's how Randy went from 74 to 55 years old in only 3 months. And it goes to show, no matter how damn bad you are, no matter how fat you are, no matter how old you are, it's never too late to make a change if you're willing to do the right things. And if you want to see a transformation similar to Randy's, if you want to get jacked, if you want to add muscle, lose fat, reverse your age, if you want to do any or all of these things, feel free to book a call with me in the link in the description of this video. Well, I'll help you build a custom meal plan, custom workout plan, custom daily routine. I'm gonna make sure that you're not consuming any poison, any bullshit, any chemicals, any of these things into a customized plan so I can make sure that you are doing everything right, so you can lose fat, so you can add muscle, so you can optimize your testosterone levels and be the best version of yourself. But guys, that's it for this video. Comment what you think. Comment what you want to see next, and I will see you in the next one.